singles, welcome to this little broadcast. Today we're discussing whether it is okay to receive advice from men and women of God. Not just advice, but for someone to tell you that you should marry this person or you should leave this person or things like that. I have heard so many stories and I've received so many queries from people telling me, oh, such a man of God or a woman of God told me this is my husband or this is my wife, or told me this is not the one I'm supposed to marry, and things like that. So is it okay for you to accept that sort of advice? Well, what I will say is there are times when God will use people to confirm something, and I'm going to use the word confirm. The initial or the basic decision should be made by you yourself. Nobody should make the decision for you. This is very important, because even if a man or a woman of God like myself tells you who you should end up with, even if I've heard from God, it will be you living with that person. At some point in marriage, things can get tough, and you don't want to say it is so, Pastor so-and-so, Prophet so-and-so, Apostle so-and-so who told me. You need to make the decision by yourself. So if someone tells you that I have heard from God, your job is to go into the presence of God and pray. There are some things that are straight up not right. You already feel it in your heart that it is not correct. Obey your heart. Don't go through it. There are some things where there's sometimes where people tell you that I have heard from God. Even the guy or the woman himself who is, who wants to marry, you say, God has told me. Then you should tell them, I need to pray about it. God also needs to tell me. Sometimes men and women of God will say that, but you feel the witness, so maybe God has told you. Then you feel peace about it. If you don't feel peace about it, don't do it. It could be that they are telling you to hook up with someone who is completely opposite from you. The manners are not okay, the way they operate and other things, because it's not just about God saying, it is also about compatibility. Go and pray about it, and don't rely on men and women of God to make decisions for you, especially concerning marriage and things like that. There are other things that you need to look at: the tribe, what are the educational preferences. If your tribe doesn't matter, like the tribe doesn't matter for me, but what are the other things that matter for you? All the general manners of the person, how well do you know the person? All those things culminating to a relationship. Having said that, there are people who have been brought together by their pastors and things like that, because the pastor in his judgment saw that, these people can flow together. But it still took the two of them getting to know each other and making the final decision. It also depends on the kind of person that you are. You should not be the kind of person whose every detail of your life, even the food you eat, is dictated by a man or woman of God, because God has given you a free will. That would be a manipulation and control. All right, it is possible, and it is encouraged, that once you find someone you are dating, you're courting, you take them to your men and women of God, and other mentors. It doesn't have to be your pastor or whatever, to meet the person for the sake of accountability. And if, as a grown-up, for example, I see that this person is not really right, I'll probably not say outright that, don't do this. Sometimes, if the person we know is a drug dealer, we'll tell the person, this person has no manners. But sometimes maybe things are not so obvious, but you can see that this is not going to work out. You just ask the person some tough questions, and okay, so has he told you this? Have you discussed this? And it causes the person in a bad relationship to think about it, and things like that. But my point here today is that whether you have been told by a woman of God or other people or someone who is looking to get into a relationship for you, your answer will or should always be, I need to pray about it. You go and pray about it and make that final decision for yourself. May God bless you as you strive to be successfully single.